exemption for private sales. Some 20% of the sales to individuals every single year in this country, maybe up to 40%, are done without a background check. Tens of thousands of those guns are finding their way into the hands of criminals. That's how they get them. You'll hear from the NRA all the time that if you ban guns, then only criminals will have guns. Nobody talks about banning guns. We talk about keeping guns out of the hands of criminals, terrorists, and mentally ill individuals. When we put safety devices on our cars, like airbags and seatbelts, when we require licensing, you have to be able to show that you can drive. When we have speed limits, and when we tell people if you're drunk, you can't drive, those are all regulations to make us safer. They don't save everybody. Some people still die on our roads. Some people are still injured, but a lot less are injured and die. These common sense regulations that the senator is talking about, that our governor is trying to implement here in the state, these common sense regulations don't ban guns, and they don't stop all gun deaths and all gun injuries, but they do some of them. And that's all we're trying to do. 34,000 deaths a year, if we can make that half, 15,000, we've saved a lot of lives. The NRA has been the problem. The NRA, when I was, I'm a gun owner by the way, my whole life. The NRA, when I was a teen and I was a member, was an organization that talked about gun safety, that talked about protecting our lands for hunting and our rivers for fishing. That's what they did. At some point, they've become something very different under new leadership. They've become the marketing arm for the gun industry. The marketing arm of the gun industry. What they do is they weaken the laws to allow people to get guns that shouldn't get guns, terrorists, criminals, and mentally ill individuals. Once those people acquire those guns, then Wayne LaPierre says, the only way to stop these bad guys with guns are for you, good guys, to buy guns. So that we can protect ourselves against the criminals, the terrorists, and the mentally ill individuals that they've armed. Well, the answer isn't arming ourselves. The answer is making sure as few criminals, as few bad people get guns as possible. And we can do that by expanding background checks. The loophole in Charleston, 72 hours, if you don't get results, you sell the gun to the person who's applying. 9 people died in a church in Charleston because the background check hadn't come back yet. Dylan Roof would have been denied a gun if they'd have said, until we get a clean background check, we don't sell you a gun. He was under indictment for a felony, and he should not have been able to buy a gun. These are the small things, the things that can save lives. Again, 9 lives saved with just that simple one thing, and how many more? 2,500, by the way, 2,500 people, felons a year, have gotten guns because of that loophole. That's 2,500 felon criminals that have gotten guns because of that loophole. That's a lot of guns that we can take off the street. So these are simple solutions. Guns in school. I mean, why in Rhode Island, we're an outlier, why in Rhode Island are we allowed to have concealed carry guns in our schools? We've gone out to the school boards, school committees, and asked them to sign a resolution in support of banning guns, banning concealed carry in school. And every single one that we went to, almost unanimously, every single one we went to, passed the resolution. Everyone passed it, and about 97% of school committee members approved of that resolution. And I think we've got more than 2/3 at this point of the school committees, of the 39 or 38 school committees in Rhode Island that have done that. We're asking for a vote. They wouldn't even give us a vote last year. We're asking for a vote on the floor to ask our elected officials if they believe people should carry concealed in schools. We hope that we can get that this year, and with the governor's help, I'm sure we'll have the opportunity. So, again, the senator has been a long-time leader on this issue. We've got to get Congress to react. 90% of the people in this country, 90% of Americans support expanded background checks. 90% of Americans don't support anything else in this country. Nothing else. But they support expanded background checks, and Congress still hasn't taken any action. And that's because of the NRA. That's because they're the conduit for the money to grease the skids of the re-election campaigns of Congress. And so we're getting nowhere. We've got to do something, and we've got to do it now. And I want to thank everybody so much.